Hello, my name is Monique Musiel. I'm the author of An Understanding Beyond, and today I would like to talk to you about the healing powers of God. This is for all who are waiting for divine help for our vulnerable bodies, which have their physical limits due to our mortal nature of this earthly existence, in which the evil one seeks to destroy God's creation through sickness and disease. Jesus and his apostles performed many healings when he walked this earth. And in some of these, Jesus did this by driving out demons. Because there are too many of these obvious instances in the Bible for me to quote, I didn't list those, but suggest looking up Jesus' healings with a search engine, Google, or whatever it is you happen to use. I'll be citing some first-hand amazing examples of how God can reverse those attacks, which, when it is his will to do so, and also how he can use healing powers on injuries. In the year 2000, I suffered 3 strokes and the destruction of my red blood cells, without which the body can't survive. This resulted from a reaction to Daypro medicine, which was later removed from the market. With God's healing powers, I recovered completely. In the year 2009, I ruptured a disc in my mid-back. Doctors said I must have surgery for this, but I had no medical insurance at the time. After terrible pain for at least 6 months, it eventually healed. In the year 2021, I had 3 heart attacks and a quadruple bypass after that. Although part of the heart dies with each heart attack, God came through again, in spite of the permanent damage. And considering that just one heart attack can be enough to result in death, my heart recovered back to normal range within a year and a half, which is about now. Sometimes God utilizes medical professionals to solve health problems, such as with the aid of a doctor when something structural needs repair. I suffered severe pain with an injury to my cervical spine for almost 25 years. This is probably when I was in my mid-30s or so. But before I finally had insurance to address this, after an MRI, doctor said the padding between those discs was gone, and that my neck might even have been broken, as I couldn't straighten my head from being cocked to my right shoulder for months when that happened. He did a great job, as it healed beautifully after the fusion surgery. Here are a couple of examples of the power of prayer by believers. My aunt in Texas had cancer when she was young, but it was successfully removed. Years later, I was devastated to hear it had returned. So I sat down to intense prayer for a long time, begging God that he would please heal her. Next time she went to her doctor, he was amazed that the cancer had disappeared. Said he couldn't understand or explain what happened to it. Let me tell you about Gregory William Kessler, who had a nearly fatal motorcycle accident in 2013. There were photos of the site of the accident of pools of blood from his head on the pavement, with a dent in the cement of the bridge, which he hit with the now pierced helmet on his head. I prayed with his family right in the ER while he laid there in a coma. They must have thought he was sure to die because the medical staff didn't seem to be doing anything. When they suggested we could transfer him to a nearby hospital that had a trauma center, we hastened them to do so, even though they warned us that he may not even make it there. It was only like a 20-minute drive, but apparently he was just hanging on by a thread. The doctors at the next hospital said that even if he lived, he would probably be a severely brain-damaged invalid in a nursing home for life. We had so many churches, Bible study groups, people on Facebook, relatives, friends and neighbors praying for his survival and recovery, that he even had an out-of-body experience of rising to Jesus after waking from 5 weeks in a coma and off medications by then. About 8 weeks after the accident, he got to go home, despite the recommendations to put him in a nursing home, which we refused, and took care of him ourselves so he could get back to normal life as soon as possible. He slowly got back to being himself within a year and is since living in an active and productive life. It's no wonder everyone is calling this a miracle. We have the healing powers of God to thank for all this. For healing in general, just think, it's not the doctors that can make us heal. They can aid us with our ailments and sometimes make structural corrections, but the body itself does the actual healing that was built into the body's abilities. What would we do if we were injured and there was no such thing as healing? What an amazing thing it is that the body can regenerate to some degree, that it even functions like it does. What a miracle life itself is, that elements taken from the dirt have been given form and thought for all that we do. So instead of complaining and focusing on the health problems we may have, can we realize how amazing it is when all the countless functions of the body work correctly? With about 30 trillion cells working together, it's a wonder when all is well. Since there are so many multitudes of chances for something to go wrong. The more we know how complicated the body is, the more we will realize this. Extensive studies of science reveal many hidden details that should amaze anyone. God is the inventor of it all, the mastermind of all creation, physics, and chemistry for us to marvel over, utilize, and enjoy. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Again, I'm the author of An Understanding Beyond. It's on Amazon for anyone in the world to read. The easiest thing to do is to look up my name, Monique Musial. That goes for YouTube also. Thank you very much. Okay. God's blessings.